Welcome back to Shadows Awakening. Gonna jump right back in on this, and once again, I've taken a number of days off from it, and that's kind of making me rethink the way that I've been presenting series, because honestly, both of the things I'm in right now, this game and playing some hardcore Grim Dawn, there's just probably a lot of hours in there that I need to do. And so what I originally launched on was I sort of started fussing around and doing games, one day a week kind of thing. I think I'll change that out. I think I'll probably just start, recording a bunch of episodes, getting some progress under me, and then going to a scenario where I basically just put, say Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I'll do one game. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, I'll do another game, something like that. Just so that we can increase the rate that we go through games, because a lot of these would just take for fucking ever for me to do otherwise. So I'll try to focus on that. But needless to say, we're still down here at the end of the last session, or sometime in the last session. We actually faced a, reasonably interesting boss. And what that did for us was it allowed us to get our hands on this guy here. Now he's basically the ironclad zombie, sort of like a giant with some armor and all that, also undead, who we now need to use to progress, right? So they're kind of giving us this little tutorial here. We can smash down this gate with the zombie, and this is all in aid of us escaping this area, escaping via the catacombs of Thol, because as we remember, we do have these inquisitors coming to Thol who could be a threat to us. Because, quick story recap, mainly for myself, the dude who summoned us is essentially he's essentially one of these inquisitors, but he's betrayed their order, and so now he's being hunted by them, and so we need to get out of here.
A clue to my past.
All right, so there we go. It looks like we've gotten into kind of the next chapter of the game, and I believe at this point too, if we look in here, interesting. We still apparently haven't killed this queen. You would think that we had. Like, you'd think we would have gotten both of these because now we're through the catacombs. We might be through the catacombs. I'm assuming we are, since we've got this to the nomads camp. But I'm actually interested in pressing ahead, and I don't really care too much. I'd rather make progress, and this is progress.
The blasted plains of the Outlands, perhaps the most desolate place in the Heretic Kingdoms. According to legend, this was once a great lake, but when the Great Rift was torn open, the water drained away, leaving only parched mud and sand. The desert stretches out as far as the eye can see, broken only by stone crags worn by centuries of sandstorms. The Outlands have long been infested with undead, since all who die amidst the dust soon reanimate, unless their body is disposed of carefully. This attracts large numbers of slavers to the region, particularly those strange crocodilians known as Sebekan, from the mysterious lands beyond the burning wall. From the Tholian Plateau to the oasis at the foot of the jagged peaks, the Outlands are rife with perils that beset the unwary. I could only hope that my allies would prove capable of meeting me on the far side. Good. You made it this far. We do not have long. The nomads cannot have missed that cacophony. Try to escape the camp through the south gate into the Outlands if you can. If you are captured, you must not reveal our association. It will mean death for us both.
You would entrust your life to my honor?
Gladly, given the alternative. Tsar may let you go, if you reveal how you escaped the city. But it would be disaster for Thal if you did. I leave it to you how to resolve that particular predicament. They are coming.
Okay, so I don't know, like, whether that's kind of implying that we have popped out in a spot we are not going to be able to resolve by just fighting our way out. That said, fighting our way out is always an option I'm willing to consider. Yeah, it looks like we've just got potentially hostiles here. Yeah. Okay, well, you can block some stuff, pal, but you can't block everything. Alright, that's not so bad. I feel like we're kind of ready for these guys. Especially these archers. Look at these pansies. Can take anything. Look at that. Weaklings. Give this guy some fire. Starting to get a little... Yeah, okay, so he's in a little block mode here. I know we can break that with our sort of heavier fire attack, so no problems there. I really do prefer using this character. I just have this natural affinity for casters, especially things like pyromancers, so those direct damage casters. Sort of a conversation I always have with other tabletop gamers in my gaming group is just that concept of how in D&D and Pathfinder, you know, they really have sort of tried to discourage that as a primary play style, you know? Like, you have sort of at really low levels, nukers can still get quite a bit of work done, but as soon as you start getting higher levels, there's so many methods of damage mitigation, you know, spell resistance, and saving throws, and evasion, and stuff like this that can just render you practically useless. It's sort of a bummer. But fortunately for me, there's lots of video games that still allow you to just burn people to a crisp and have fun doing it. Ow, dick. Alright, come on. Yeah, see, look at this. This is like quality DPS, and she's actually getting mobile enough now that I don't have to constantly worry about just getting tagged by these guys. Because like that hammer to the face, that's an equalizer right there. Might not have fire magic, do have massive battle hammer. That's gonna get the job done. Okay. Oh, look at this. These boxes are actually breakable. I've been just kind of walking past them like they're part of the scenery. Probably found that out earlier and just forgot. It's my special skill. Alright, so got ourselves a little bit more lore here. City of Outcasts, Volume 3. Please go ahead and pause if you'd like to read that one. Alright, so far this camp does not seem to be showing me a scenario in which I won't be able to fight my way out. You know, these enemies are definitely a little bit tougher, but not to the degree where I'm afraid I can't carry on here. Especially their ranged, which... Oh, just took a hit from that mine. Gotta be careful about that. Just because I don't know how to use my archer properly doesn't mean the AI doesn't know how to use theirs. I have a hunch, though, that because he mentioned that that named bandit, and we're gonna check this area too. Oh wow, okay. Maybe it won't be so tough to get our hands on souls anymore right now. I can't remember, what is this ability again?
Such a weak soul.
I'll have to check. Yeah, look at this, man. We are harvesting right now. And we don't technically need to because we did do the paid recharge, which now makes me feel like an idiot. I probably even brought it up. I'm not gonna check, but I probably brought it up. Like, man, I'll feel like a dipshit if this turns out to be like really easy to. Oh, hello. Oh, okay, Soul Raven Nest. All right, well. This is kind of interesting that they're worrying about having like these enemy ecosystems and whatnot in the in the spirit world as well. Kind of cool. Kind of disturbing if you look at these fucking things, but okay, fire seal instantly equipped. Let's just take a quick look at that. That's a ring. 8 to 12 damage against elemental. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, because you'd think Fire Seal, okay, that would go straight to my mage, right? Because he's a fire caster, but obviously that's not the point of it. The chitin mask. Now, who is wearing that shit? Looks like we got new helmet here. Level 5. All right, we're good to go on this. So we got an upgrade right there that I hadn't really noticed. Armor. Not so much. Well, we level 3 armor, but I'd rather have that critical immunity. Seems like crits do put out a fair amount of damage in this. Let's see, what else do we have? Possibly boots. Chitin boots? Who wears these? Usable by Evia. Okay. But not now. Yeah, look, wow, we got a pretty significant level drift that we got to get through there. Alright, anything else that she has? No, it doesn't look like it. Well, maybe main hand. I know, oh yeah, that's right. We need to pop up one more level and we can use this staff that we got from Darmok, who was sort of the end boss of the catacombs that we just went by. Alright, so let's continue exploring this area outside of the spirit world now. Looks like we've got sort of branching paths here. This area looks pretty big. You can see down here. So let's maybe take a look right around this courtyard and then up into this area. And we'll see if that's a side area. Because I'd rather wrap it up before I go and wander way off into the distance down there. Okay, those archers are just easy kills. Alright, looks like we got 3 ways to go. Offshoots here. Perhaps it's going to loop if it wants to make my life easy, which I know it doesn't. That is one thing I will say about this game. It's extremely linear in a lot of places.
I grant you the mercy of the grave.
They're very sort of contained little map areas. Not that that's a bad thing. I think that if you do a really good job on the visual representation and the maps end up being interesting despite being really closed in like this, that's totally fine, you know. I'm okay with that. Man, it does feel good to just have this straight DPS caster becoming more and more effective, though. This seems pretty good as well. It's sort of, it doesn't really feel much like an AoE. It just kind of feels like sort of a persistent dot almost on a single enemy. But I'll take that. You know, anytime you can be running and still delivering damage is a pretty good thing as a glass cannon build. Okay, it doesn't look like we're leaving much on the ground over here. A couple of barrels there that rarely break into anything interesting. Now, if we've got these, does that mean we have another one of those nests? It doesn't look like it.
Tremble before a princess of the Cerulean throne.
Oh, coming in rowdy. I like it. Oh, there's a mine. Okay. Yeah, see, like I think if we prop, okay, well never mind, I just instantaneously nuked him. Oh, okay, so it is area based rather than just like continuously following and hitting that one enemy. Either way, it works, especially if you can fix something down with the golem. Her abilities synergize with her, you know, they work quite well together, which is nice. I know that I am neglecting some of the other characters, but I always struggle to get into using characters that I don't like, even if you sort of feel you're supposed to. They kind of have special purposes and such like. Now, this might be a situation here where, yeah, okay, so we just got locked down.
How quaint. A mechanical trap. Still, quite irritating and hard to manipulate through magical means.
You dare kill my people? Guards, take her to the arena for trial.
That is not the voice I would have expected.
Is this the intruder?
Aye. The killer has been arrested and now stands trial.
Very well, my lord.
You are guilty of murder. What say you?
Accused, my lord, not guilty. She is accused of murder.
I am law speaker here, Sage.
Of course, my lord.
You're accused of murder. What say you?
Okay, this trial is dumber than you are is tempting the fuck out of me. So this guy here, unless I'm crazy, he's our ally, right? He's our summoner. So he's obviously in here. He's got a relationship with these people. He's trying to influence them, but not too overtly. I think we're going to go with the obvious. They came in ready to go, so it was self-defense.
I acted solely in my own defense.
So, you admit your crime.
My lord, according to the law of Tsar, it is unclear that death in battle entails a crime.
Quiet, Sage. My men are dead. That's murder.
Indeed, you are, my lord.
Who are you? What do they call you?
All right. I just have to say, his voice acting is the first time in the game that I feel like they have just jarringly misapplied a voice actor. Like this does not match that face at all. I don't know. Okay. Anyway, it just looks like a big ass knoll. Now we can just pick a fight here. We're gonna continue to potentially be a little bit diplomatic, let's say.
I am Evia, the daughter of fire, heir to the throne of Garulia.
Never heard of you. But I am Tsar. I am law speaker, and I will pass judgment on your crimes. If you wish me to be lenient, you should tell me what I want to hear. The gate didn't open, but you came from Thole. How did you get into my war camp? I demand you tell me how you got here.
Okay, so obviously we're getting a little bit of a opportunity here to basically betray Thole to these guys, because obviously Thole is under siege, and they're keeping these guys out, sort of skin of their teeth kind of thing. Now, normally, I wouldn't necessarily want to fuck with that. I mean, Thole is a city that actually has, you know, seats and stuff instead of these grubby barbarians, and so I picture my character there would rather side with the city. But a city that is being ransacked by nomads is going to be a much harder position for those inquisitors to pick up my trail. Now, I'm obviously probably overthinking things a little bit by saying that, but let's just play it like I would play it here. I would say I came from the catacombs, and I'll share that information with them. And if that causes chaos in the city behind me, well, my goals lie ahead, not behind. You know, Spider Queen notwithstanding. And so causing chaos for those inquisitors, let's do it.
I came from deep in the catacombs and destroyed the gate to escape. The path collapsed behind me. If you search the northeast of your camp, you will find the rubble.
So, there are tunnels beneath Thole. Didn't I tell you there were tunnels, Sage?
Yes, my lord. Your intelligence constantly surprises me.
This is an excellent development. We will be able to clear the rockfall and sack Thole before the next moon. As law speaker, I declare your What's that word, Sage?
Reparations, my lord.
Your reparations are equal to your crimes. You may leave. My guards will escort you to the Outlands. Do not return here if you value your life.
Okay, so mission accomplished.
Listen carefully. We have little time. Head southeast through the Outlands, towards the oasis at the foot of Broken Spear Pass in the jagged peaks. I will meet you there shortly. Now go.
Okay, so we are like slash and burning our way through the map, right? Like we hit up Thole, make no home there, leave it to be sacked. These guys here have basically exiled us and put up an impenetrable barrier. So it looks like this game is going to be a railway ride to the end of the game, which, you know, again, I'm okay with that. But it certainly makes me worry less about my decisions when it comes to things like this. I don't think there's much in it for me to just say, nah, forget it. You know, I'm not going to worry about whether or not Thole gets that. Thole gets sacked. Thole gets thacked. Hey, y'all want to There we go.
We must be on our guard.
Yeah, I would have guessed that. Hey, I want to take just one more opportunity to just say how fucking cool the world building in this is. I mean, they're not pulling up trees with you know, sort of the storyline elements, right? Like the city on the edge of the wasteland. Fuck my life. Can I get...
This place is naught but dust.
Alright, thanks. Fuck you, for starters. Alright. Yeah, as I was saying, you know, they're not doing anything particularly interesting when it comes to the actual storyline, I wouldn't think. But the setting, I'm really enjoying. Like this concept here where they're like, okay, we need a desert. But instead of just rummaging up your standardized desert, they have put something that lets them do some really cool art design here. You know, they've got this idea that it's a dried out lake bed, you know, and that's always going to be a little more interesting. I think it's just, you know, obviously, like Path of Exile did that, right? They have sort of the dry lake bed as one of the zones in that as well. And the reason it's always a little more interesting is just that concept of, you know, the mystery of what's under the waves, and when you see that exposed, it's just something that gives you an inherent desire
We should hold on to this for
to
later.
poke around it, right? It's like near where I live here, we have sort of, you know, a lot of dams, a lot of hydro dams and stuff like that. And let's see, what can we give our dude here? We can give him this swordsman's belt, 10% plus 10 armor against humanoid. All right, well, armor's kind of his bag, so let's maybe do that. Free endurance. It's kind of hard to tell, like survivability plus 24, survivability 502, 611. It's hard to tell what actually out of those two is more productive or useful. I mean, you could just say, well, this one's higher level, but then obviously the stats, whatever. Probably not that big of a deal. But anyway, like I was saying, you know, we have this place where okay, well, I have to keep that in mind just in case we're facing a lot of demons or something. But yeah, we have this place where we used to go camping and stuff like that was a reservoir lake. And so at a certain point in the season, they would have the dams kind of drained and it would drain out, you know, and you'd have this place that was for most of the year was a lake. And then for part of the year would just be, you know, like a campsite next to basically sand flats with like a creek running through it. That was all that remained of the lake. And I mean, I don't know why, but yeah, it's just such an interesting idea. Like you want to poke around, like everything's kind of more interesting if it's been underwater most of the time, I think. All right, we're actually going to have to go ahead and heal here. And I'm actually interested to see. Now, I don't know whether this is a great choice just because this guy's a bit slow. So yeah, so we... Oh, hello. Let's get chip chopping. So we did just use a charge. Yeah, I'm interested to see. We can always sort of use him to travel. Or use her to travel because she's a little bit faster, and then use him to sort of beat on things if he's pretty effective. But I'm not sure he's going to be great against those enemies just because they have poison, right? Like traditionally, poison's pretty good against heavily armored opponents. Oh, you prick. I thought I had you.
Never overcome me.
There we go, level 6.
Abandon this pointless attack.
So I think we're definitely going to want to take a look at the princess there in terms of her gearing, because we do now have that.
We should hold on to this for later.
Oh, what are you suggesting? She has that staff that we can now equip, which I think is just, you know, unambiguously improved here. So let's take a look at that. Yeah, she's able to equip Darmok's staff. I mean, this is just all around significantly better. Looks heavy as fuck, and I would hate to carry that around, but whatever. Okay, let's see. We are going to level these guys right now, and that'll probably actually round out this episode. So if you don't want to see me sort of agonizingly slowly pour over what may or may not be available, then well, this is locked. Okay. Oh no, wait. I'm an idiot. That's just because it's best, but he can't wear it. Yeah. Okay. No worries there. So this guy can wear these masks, and basically everything here is going to be an improvement for him by quite a bit. Stun immunity, lightning resist. Honestly, stun immunity is probably better for this guy because if I ever do use him, I'm going to want to kite him around and stuff like that. Let's see what else we've got for him. Do we have any body armor that would be an improvement? Sure doesn't look like it. Okay, what about Buddy here? Main hand. Do we have anything? We do not. Here, let's only show ones he can use. Okay, level 8. Yeah, we're starting to get much higher level stuff now, so... Yeah, he doesn't have anything. Alright. So let's head over here. So main hand. She has a lot of usable options, but this one is definitely going to be the best. Level 8 again, so yeah, stuff is starting to drop at pretty high level. Yeah, again, this is just rate of fire versus damage, I think, those choices. And here we just have nothing really that he can do. Oh, okay, that's actually not true. We can upgrade his fists. All right. So that's cool. All right, and then let's go to skills. What do we got? Single skill point. So yeah, so I had taken this feast. We can't upgrade really any of that. This one's interesting, I guess, for handling ranged opponents. So last time I was trying to develop that sort of your direct damage, defense, and crowd control or utility as kind of like unifying my my kind of layout so that I wasn't fussing around so much with not knowing what I was doing. We might hang on to skill points at this stage because we could actually just upgrade this. So I think having that smash AoE is probably going to be a good thing. So we're going to hang on to this skill point, but we'll take a look at his talents. He does have these 2 empty slots. Let's see. Talents, just, yeah, reiterating here. See, with this one here, you'd want to know what his crit rate was. I think this might optimally go for our archer. Whereas this might be something a little more useful for him. And we've got one more slot. And I'm thinking that possibly this might be the thing. Just because if he has a pretty large health base already, then this is just EHP, right? So let's just give him that as well. And we'll see where we go from there. All right, and then in terms of his stats, we're sitting here on 5 points. So let's drop 3 into endurance and then the other 2 into strength. He's very simple, I think. So we'll confirm that. Okay, so he's leveled up. Now, this guy here, we've been focusing pretty heavily on agility to improve that critical attack bonus there. So let's first look in here. Let's look at talents. He's got one more open talent here. This increases his attack speed. I'm interested in this though. Now, yeah, okay, so basically all of this is stacking towards just a high crit rate. So if we go back over and look here at the character in general, his crit rate is hard to find, don't know where it is. Evasion, critical immunity, blah, 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 mercy, cruelty. Critical chance, there we go, we're up to 10%. That's getting pretty good. That's our 18 to 20. And then we're gonna dump another, let's see, we'll call it 3 in here. And then, again, we're kind of just pursuing that idea that we might be getting skill damage bonus for his big shots. So we'll do that as well. All right, so that's him allocated. Evia, the character that we're primarily playing. Once again, willpower is her big thing. Now, I'm guessing that the critical chance bonus for her is kind of a thing as well, because her abilities dish out a lot of damage. And I'm assuming, once again, I don't know for sure, but I'm assuming that that can affect her skill damage as well. But I don't actually know that. So like base skill damage bonus is pretty good here. And maybe that's what we should just keep going with. But in any case, nice round number. And then we are going to add some agility again. I just wonder, like, is this wasted, right? This critical chance bonus. Well, to be fair, it should affect her staff attacks, right? That's her base attack. So at the very least, if we improve this critical chance bonus, she might hit harder with her base attacks. All right. On the talent front, I mean, here we go. We could improve her crit rate again. The question is that the right move? Okay, so obviously this is going to go primarily to the mage, I would think. 7%. I mean, basically, really the only argument on this one is the percentage. Is that like a valid percentage? But obviously, cooldown on active skills is just without question something that we want to do. So she already has intelligence, and now that it's obvious. 7% is not much, but it's obviously the right thing to do. Okay, so she only has a single point here. Realistically, she is in the phase now where these two can both be upgraded. I would probably first upgrade Sand Golem and just try to get his duration up by those 5 seconds, because very handy for fixing targets down to bombard them with Flame Strike and Fire Breath. So I think we're going to stick with that. We're going to hang on to the skill point. And now the Devourer. Let's do it this way around again. All right, we've just been stacking strength and endurance for him, but I can't stand this non-round number poking around down here, so I'm just going to do that. And then I think 2 there, 2 there. And we'll confirm that. Nothing specific planning here, but now this gets more interesting, and I think probably what we want to do is... Okay, we don't need that. But 10% extra souls drop on kill. We've been doing pretty good harvesting in this new area so far, but I know that's kind of been something that's been bugging me before, is how much work I had to put into charging my soul stone for healing. So I think that's probably our best bet. It just makes us a little bit easier to charge up and keep going. Once again, in terms of what we have here, he's got a little bit less unlocked. I'm a little interested. So Soul Rend, increases the damage done with the base attack every time the enemy is hit. I'm interested in this, actually. Because we're starting to see now that we get into a few more of those scenarios where there's, like, you know, the spawning nest or something like that with tons of other stupid little monsters in the way. I kind of picture this as a great way to just plow through them. Come on, sign that shit. Plow through them and, like, get to the sort of spawners and stuff like that and start delivering damage to the right place right away. So we're going to try that out in upcoming fights. Possession, we really haven't used very much, and that's mainly on me just forgetting I have it, but it could certainly be handy. We'll figure that out. We'll start to use it a little bit more. But in the meantime, that's going to be it for this episode, and I hope you enjoyed it. It looks like a really interesting place to explore coming up. Really like this setting, and I hope I see you next time.